It's working.
Yes.
Well, obviously it is. You're talking to us.
Right. But like I say, it's not just the vibration that I use alone. I have to use a little bit of what I call psychic acupuncture.
Well, that's pretty hefty stuff if it's done right.
That is, well, it is, because it's the most accurate. On an experiment that I did, it's the most accurate, and it gives you the most appropriate acupuncture points. It starts with a chain of command, and then one gets hot, and then you're able to get another one hot, and you go through your whole body and get all your points to where they heat up. But it requires, steps that are unorthodox, because it involves fasting, and it involves a certain kind of diet, and having a little bit of orange juice for sugar, and it's a whole chain of command.
Mm-hmm.
But getting to your problem, how to get your thing on the market, see, I do all kinds of experiments to try to stimulate the procedure that I've already developed. And it seems like for your particular thing, could you put that together as like a stereo unit and put it on the market and sell it as, like a biofeedback machine, or get away from the medical, because I already know with dealing with doctors, you cannot talk to them.
I see. We could get those frequencies in a Walkman, and away we go.
That's it. In fact, the one time I got tremendous results by doing a little of the procedure that I mentioned, using acupuncture, psychic acupuncture, stimulating my points with my own concentration, and then I put some headphones on, and I was listening to some music the next day, and I re-stimulated all the points by hearing the music in my headphones.
Well,
that's because I was fasting and was sensitive to that whole procedure.
You had some suggestions going there that worked for you.
Yeah. But as far as if you could put it together a stereo system that would cost $1,000 a piece, where a person could operate this at home themselves and experiment themselves.
Everybody's little home do-it-yourself hospital.
That would be terrific.
Well, the comment, I would agree with a lot of the things. The problem is that there are a lot of safety factors that always have to be taken into consideration, and you're dealing with elements that can be detrimental. I don't want to be taking the hard establishment side, but that's why a lot of these things have to be checked out, have to be verified. Then the onus of getting them to the public this is where the system has to be changed, that when you finally get something that is beneficial, that it's not priced out of everybody's possibility of achieving. So in what we're talking about, we're not even talking about going out and marketing these. What we're talking about is not just the Rife microscope. The Rife microscope is the tip of an iceberg of a whole element, the electromagnetic spectrum, that has not been adequately pursued above board with good research money, and that's really, I think, the even bigger picture of what we're presenting here, that for every Rife microscope there's hundreds of additional items and devices that should be reevaluated today to see how effective they are.
Well, like the MSO. Now, that was put on the market, but that is not really a healing cure or whatever. I mean, I'm not saying it isn't healing. What I'm saying is they put it on the market, and they sell it as a cleaning solution.
Yes.
And you may have to, sell your thing as some other, piece of equipment in order to let people use it.
Right, and just a point that came to my mind, too, is that many people think that more is better, and like Steve mentioned earlier, they found that actually someone utilizing it once every 3 days versus once every day was actually better for the system. It gave it recuperative time. So that's something that we have to always be careful of, too, when it's, used in the home.
People have a tendency to overwork certain things and to try too much.
Oh, yes, one aspirin. Oh, I've really got a headache. I'll take 6.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, because I've done it myself.
We appreciate your creativity.
Now,
my plan is, as soon as I finish the end of my experiments, when I'm totally, which is I'm in the process right now of, draining, when I finish my program, my plan is to train people to be able to do the procedure that I've developed on myself for themselves.
It'll never get off the ground. You're fasting. People got to eat.
That's true. That makes it tough. But the thing is, if it's bad enough, you will do it.
You sure will.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, Lloyd.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Thank you, Lloyd.
Bye-bye.
A very creative fellow. You're right.
That's right.
We're 10 minutes away from midnight on this Saturday night with Steve and Laverne Ross from the World Onyx. Maybe see a free energy device or two. Joe Newman's going to be out there. You'll see his. He's going to have one there. John Badini will be there. You'll get to hear some music. We'll show you some scalar activity that the Soviets have put into our very skies around us, weather control and anti-ballistic activity. That's close to home, so it'll be quite fascinating if you come on out. We have Mary on the line. Hi, Mary.
Hi, how are you?
Fine.
Oh, I've enjoyed your program very much, Bill. I've listened to you for quite some time, but this is the first time I've called.
Well, where you been?
Oh, well, I've been here. Oh, I want to tell Steve in Laurie, is it? Laverne. You're doing a great thing for humanity, and just keep it up. But the thing that I do want to say is, you know, when human beings are experimented on with medicine through the AMA, I think that is the biggest crime of all. And there are an awful lot of people being experimented on. And as far as germs and things, you're very right, Steve, because, you know, well, I don't know if I ought to say this, but I'll go ahead and say this. Somebody is getting into my house, and they're getting into my refrigerator. And it has scared me to the point that every time I have any open food in my refrigerator that I'm going to use the next day or something, I take along with me if I'm going out. My daughter took me shopping one time. We came back, and we started putting the groceries away, and I pulled out one of the chairs, and the chairs were split. And this would be every time we would go out. I would sit down on a chair, and I would feel like something was crawling all over me.
So what is your question for Stephen Laverne?
Well, what I would like to know is this: is there is a micro? Oh, I don't know if I can. There's a little bug in my house, and it looks like coffee grounds. Mm-hmm. Would you know what kind of a bug that was?
No, but I can tell you I've seen them before in the food.
Well,
in my spices on occasion.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well.
They're like a little beetle bug type.
Oh, is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what it is, though. Sorry.
You can't tell how dangerous it is.
No.
Oh, I
but
see.
But call an exterminator. He'll come out here and take care of it.
I have. And when he came, he says, "Oh, you don't have any bugs."
Okay.
And I said to him, I said, "Don't insult my intelligence. Have a nice weekend, all three of you."
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
I don't know how to respond to that call of Mary's. I hope she takes care of the bug problem there. Okay, Vince, you're on.
Yeah, good evening, Bill and Steve and Laverne. I'm a friend of John F. Crane, and I just called him and got permission to, if you would like to hear, a class action suit that he has filed. I don't know whether it's current in your library, Steve, but this was filed June 3rd at the Southern District of California, the United States District Court, and it's called John F. Crane Plaintiff versus the United States of America et al. For those people who have been looking for information, a copy of this can be gotten from John F. Crane, but it's case number, get your pencils out, 860076 GT, and in parentheses it says CM. Hey, allow me, I'd like to just read the first two paragraphs, and I think it'll explain everything. It's a 46-page report.
First two paragraphs, and that's it.
Yes, okay. I, John F. Crane, plaintiff, herein declare under penalty of perjury that the cure for cancer was covered up since the 1930s. It has been a secret for 56 years since Royal R. Wright discovered the virus cause and the electronic devitalization of the virus working from 1920 on and in his research laboratories. It is a secret that it is a cover-up, this is the second paragraph, of the Medical American Association, AMA Association, and another example of a conspiracy in restraint of trade and commerce violation 15 of the U.S. Code, paragraphs 1 and 2, that resembles more of a medieval guild protecting its monopoly financial interests than a medical profession dedicated to public service under the Hippocratic Oath, and another example of a political system funded by the drug trust and desiring not to promote the public good when it clashes with a $357 billion monopoly for drugs, radiation, and surgery annually. End of second paragraph. It goes on and gets better.
Well, he spelled out